We just watched a Sarth interview. We're going to be watching other people's interviews with some of Blizzard leadership, and Blizzard just made a post about the hardcore rule set overview. So we've had about an hour to digest the initial news. We're playing PTR tomorrow. I don't think anybody's happy with how all the rules came out to begin with. There's some things we like, some things we dislike. All the phases being available. No Petriflask nerf. There's a couple like big red flags. And we're going to go through these rules and see what we like about them, what we dislike. At the end of the day, we're going to make the best of the situation. I think we're still going to have fun on the server no matter what. And maybe in the far, far future, there's always a chance for changes or a re-release, a new fresh hardcore. I know that there's no solo still found on this real server this time around. And honestly, the way I see, you know, where this hardcore community started, if you were there, if you got to experience solo still found and play it, it was a time in history. And if you got to play it, I'm really happy you did. If you missed out on it, maybe you'll get to play solo still found in the future, or you can go back to Bloodsail whenever the official hardcore servers collapse or something. Who knows? You can play solo still found with the hardcore add-on. So let's get into these rules. Hardcore rule set overview. Death on hardcore realms is permanent on that realm. This means that if you die, you won't be able to run back to your corpse and resurrect, nor can you be resurrected by any other spell or ability. We want to see if we can run into the dungeons. If we die inside of a dungeon and get rezzed, it might be a bug. I'm sure it'll get fixed. This means if you have abilities as part of your class, such as Shaman Reincarnation, Warlock Soulstone, hell yeah. They won't be of any use to you. It doesn't sound like they're going to make these epic quest chains for like one-time uses, or they're going to change talents related to these items at all. So this is a good change. Now I don't have to walk around with a level 30 or 20 Warlock soulstoning my character every 30 minutes. Thank goodness. You'll continue to exist in game as a ghost to facilitate communication, and resolve logistical matters such as guild leadership, mailbox, not being able to delete your character, yada yada. That's good. Guildmasters died at the hand of Defias Bandit. Your character's not necessarily lost if you die, however. After dying in a hardcore realm, you'll be able to utilize the free character move service and move their dead character to a non-hardcore classic era realm. Once this move is complete to the non-hardcore realm, that character may resurrect as normal, but the way back to a hardcore realm will be closed. I'm actually surprised that they didn't make this a paid service. You almost want this to be a paid service so they don't add paid services in the future. Like the WoW token, like a res token. There's no way they did that type of stuff. But I'm kind of surprised that this is free. Obviously, it's a good change. I think it's for the best, but it'd be funny if they made this a paid service. PvP flagging and you. This was a hot topic. Out of all my time on Bloodsail Buccaneers, the only thing that I was really scared of was kiting a guard to me, and then scattershot, feign deathing, and then I get PvP flagged because I'm in aggro radius range of a guard. It makes no sense. It felt like a bug. It was unavoidable. All the other PvP flags, clicking on a level 1 on a Flight Master, choosing to flag myself in the open world, even avoiding PvE griefs, you know, other characters pulling mobs on top of me, I felt pretty confident being able to get away, but there was that one interaction with forced PvP flagging me that I felt like I couldn't get away from it. So it's no surprise that they're making a change to this. Players will no longer be automatically flagged for PvP upon attacking another player. To flag yourself for PvP, you must type the command /PvP. So you can't click on someone, the opposing faction. If you right-click them, it's not going to do anything. You have to /PvP in order to hit them. You won't be able to take hostile actions against a flagged enemy player unless you flag yourself deliberately. Alright. We've added this failsafe to prevent situations which could unintentionally take aggressive action against another player who's flagged for PvP. Nice. So you can't get baited by hunter pets anymore. You can mindlessly farm plane striders without having to worry about somebody of the opposing faction having a plane strider pet, right? PvP flagged. By requiring players to type /PvP, it maintains fairness. It also reduces the likelihood someone will be tricked into becoming flagged unintentionally. It's important to note that attacking an enemy faction NPC will still flag you, even if you haven't typed /PvP, so steer clear of settlements of the opposing faction. Ooh, so maybe we still get flagged. Right now on PvE servers, the only way you get force flagged PvE is if you're in one of the cities. So whenever we did the level 8 Alliance raid on Ragefire Chasm, whenever you zone into Orgrimmar, you actually automatically get flagged. I didn't know if that was going to be changed or not. We can test it. It'd be interesting if you don't get flagged, so now we can raid cities and just hang out in cities without being flagged. PvP Battlegrounds and Warfare. So are we going to be able to do BGs or not? They're completely disabled. As are all PvP Battle Masters. You may still enter pre-made war games, but you may not gain honor or PvP reputations from war games. While PvP's fun part of WoW, by allowing players to enter Battlegrounds on one-life characters, there's a concern this would lead to overly defensive play, like /AFK, often the point of non-participation, of course. When you consider how powerful some rewards are from factions such as Stormpike Guard, okay, the PvP gear is good. PvP is not the focus of hardcore game mode, so we've decided to disable normal PvP queuing entirely. If you wish to test yourself in pre-arranged war games, however, that's an available options. War games confer no honor or other rewards. Beware, if you engage in war games, death is still permanent. Nice, dude. That actually, I like that you can do war games and death counts. I don't know how you guys feel about this. If you want to go do level 19 Twink Battlegrounds, go play on a regular server. This doesn't, diminish or take away from, I can queue war games and die 10 times in a Warsong Gulch, and then I zone out, and now it's like I never died, right? So it's kind of good. It's kind of cool. I imagine there's only going to be like low-level war games that people queue into. I can't imagine a level 60 war game. That's like 10 Makaras, 10v10. But yeah, no honor gear in the game, PvP and quest updates. Various quests and objectives that cause players to become PvP flagged. Such as, the attack, missing diplomat, no longer cause players to become flagged. There it is, man. Nobody's going to be camping Dustwallow Marsh anymore. I think that's a good change overall. A lot of times I like to attribute it to stupid attacks like Vidir Quest. It would have been funny if that stayed in the game. Missing diplomat, you would have just had to have played around it. And people that didn't know would have died too, but I guess overall this is a good change. I don't really feel one way or another. I kind of agree. If you want a PvP, go do it on a regular server. These quests were never strictly meant to flag you for PvP, but this is a result of how the creatures were set up at the time and was the result of early technical limitations. Sure, who really cares? Yeah, they don't want any gotchas. If you're playing hardcore, it's a PvE focused game. You don't want to be forced PvP flagged. Wow, so the only type of griefing that we're going to see is like PvE griefing, which is good. I kind of like only PvE griefing being on the table. I don't like force flagging somebody for PvP. It's not fair. We decided to no longer cause these quests to flag you for PvP. Various quests and objectives that require the player to die or complete the initial quest or objective may now be completed without the player's demise, like Vidir Elixir and Shadowforge Key. All these quests are iconic and flavorful. The requirements of the character to be in a state of death is obviously problematic on a hardcore realm. As a result, we've designed new ways to complete these quests without requiring your character to die or be dead to complete them. Yo, I actually don't think I'm going to do Vidir. So you still have to drink the Vidir Elixir, and I think in the interview they said it would take you down to 1 HP. I don't know who's going to be the first one to test it. What if it bugs and kills my character? I don't know, we might have to skip that one. Many quests that require escorting NPC targets have been adjusted in such a way that most escort-related NPCs may no longer be attacked by players of the opposing faction. Wow. So no griefing. No Defias Messenger griefing. I kind of wanted this to be in the game, man. I wanted the opposing faction to be able to kill Defias Messenger, and I wanted the 60 HC defense recruits to come in the game and purge the lands. You know what I mean? I wanted them to come kill the dumbass that killed Defias Messenger. So this feels kind of bad. I feel like they're putting hands on the server in the game before we even get to see the hardcore server. It would have been fun to see this as like an Earth experiment, in perfect homeostasis. How does the Earth regulate itself, with no outside forces? What's good, what's bad? And I would have liked to have seen like a very pure... I just would have liked to have seen escort mobs be able to get killed, because it would have allowed the opposing faction 60s to come storming in and, kill the people that griefed them. And then I think there would be opposing groups griefing the protectors and so on and so forth. But it just kind of takes away from the server identity, the sandbox, you know what I mean? Makes it more cookie cutter, which... for better or for worse. Many quest-related NPCs, particularly at low level, are very easily killed, right? And there's very little counterplay. Well, the counterplay is you have somebody who dedicates their entire time as a level 60 camping a Defias Messenger. Now that's not a way to play the game anymore, which, whatever, I guess. To a higher level player, the opposing faction running up, killing your escort NPC and running away. This is a vector for gameplay disruption that we don't feel has a place in the game, nor does it add anything meaningful to normal PvP combat. I disagree. I just think that the 60 HC defense guilds on both factions would have protected the low-level characters. Okay, so how does this work? Are you going to be able to kill guards? Surely you could still kill quest NPCs, right? Are level 60s going to be able to kill Goldshire NPCs and flag themselves? So you're still going to have level 60 undead rogues come kill Goldshire quest givers. Only escort NPCs can't be touched. I think that's good. Yeah, I want to see some dumbass come kill all the quest givers in Goldshire and have 60s waiting, logged in, ready to go. Yeah, that's going to be good. Danger leashed. Most creatures will leash and reset when leaving the area or zone they were engaged in. I wonder what zone means. Like, I'm thinking about Bagthera, and if I kite Bagthera to Booty Bay to get a guard to flag and kill him, because he got kited out of the zone that he's initially spawned in, will he just leash right away? I mean, that's alright, I guess. It prevents the grief. I really wanted to see Terramis fly through Elwyn Forest daily. I really did, man. There were some pretty egregious deaths. The ones that feel really bad is whenever you're pulling Terramis on top of level 30, 40 characters that can't get away, but I really like the low-level zone. Everything being on fire, head on a swivel, the world is super dangerous, you know, the 60's not just given to you. I don't necessarily agree with the griefing, but it would have been fun to see the world more free, you know what I mean? But maybe careful what you wish for here. Overall, it's probably a good change. As much we enjoyed frequent visits from Terramis, Devourer, and Stormwind, or Wandering Devil Swords and Thousand Needles. So, being able to drag or kite high-level monsters to lower-level areas is a large vector for gameplay disruption and something that doesn't have a place in WoW Classic Hardcore. Yeah, I guess so. I feel like they got their hands around me, you know what I'm saying? This is how I feel right now. You know what I mean? This is how I feel. Total range of monsters can be pulled is currently fairly large, but can easily be adjusted. Wow. We'll be watching for feedback on this implementation from those participating in the PTR. The goal is to prevent high-level players from kiting dangerous monsters across entire zones, but we don't want to interfere with legitimate gameplay, such as hunters kiting elite monsters to solo difficult quests. Right. And similar expressions of skill. Yeah. Here we go. Here's the big one. Dungeons on the clock, man. Mother trucker. Mother trucker, dude. Before we get into this, I need everybody in the chat. W or L? How do you feel about dungeons on the clock? All dungeons have at least a 24-hour lockout timer for players below level 60. W or L? What does this mean? What does this mean? That's a lot of W's.
What brings you here?
Wow, you guys like this. Okay, we're going to try and break this down. I actually need to bring the notepad out for this. Okay, pros. What are the pros of a 24-hour lockout timer? One of the most important aspects of WoW Classic Hardcore Realms is engaging in adventures in the outside world with other players. Creating random and serendipitous interactions is a core aspect of the original release, and spending most of your leveling time in dungeons is counter in spirit to what Hardcore is about. I agree, man. The dungeon spamming Scarlet Monastery from levels 30 to 44 is super lame. It's cringe. Not even talking about boosting, just regular players will spam Scarlet Monastery from 30 to 44. And you see a lot of those leveling zones empty because SM spam is just the best. We do recognize that there may be a desire to run a dungeon while leveling multiple times, such as to finish a quest or an important piece of loot. As a result, we've added a 24-hour timer to almost all dungeons. Almost all. For players until they hit level 60. By extension, this means that level 60 players may never enter lower level dungeons with players below level 60 for any reason. Additionally, we've carried over the group experience restrictions from Psalm, meaning that players that are significantly higher level than the creatures in a given dungeon will cause those creatures to grant trivial experience to other members of the group. Higher level characters, power leveling, lower level characters are not something that we feel is appropriate for WoW Classic Hardcore. How do you guys feel? Good or bad? I think overall this is a W, man. I think this is good. I think this is overall good. For sweaty degen, no lifers like myself, it takes away some loopholes, but yeah, it's good for the server, if I had to be real with myself. So what are the pros to the dungeon lockout? The pros to 24-hour lockout timer for each dungeon. They said most dungeons, so maybe like Dire Maul at level 59 you can run multiple times, but who's going to run Dire Maul dungeons at 59, right? Or maybe Blackrock Depths isn't level capped to 24 hours. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, so pros. First off, there's no boosting. No boosting. No botting. No boosting bots. Less bots. Can't be boosted. So bots have to level in the open world. That's good. No boosting. Less bots. More open world interactions. The dungeon loot is rare, right? You're not gonna, I mean, you could wait 24 hours to run Dead Mines 3 days in a row to get a cruel barb on a warrior. But still, if you get a cruel barb on your character, it's going to be pretty unique. And if you don't get it, you're going to get a couple levels and out-level the cruel barb anyways. So, yeah, no SM spam. Thank God, dude. The dungeon spam all day, every day is boring and bad gameplay. It is. I still respect a nice, honest spell cleave or a melee cleave while you're leveling up, no matter what the range is. I think that's a fun way to play the game. My paladin, honestly, I think 40 plus, I'm just gonna only log in to do a dungeon world tour at my level range with full rested XP every couple days, because I'm not gonna level a paladin levels 40 to 60. So other than that, it would have been cool to level a paladin. I don't know, do 5 ZF runs in a row, but who really cares? Yeah, I'm not concerned about it at all. Do mobs respawn if you wait 2 to 3 hours? Yeah, I'm sure they do, actually, but who's gonna wait 2 to 3 hours on their account while mobs respawn? Ethical dungeon spam is fun, yeah. Um, 24 lockout's pretty good. I think overall people like this. It reduces the botting. Okay, what are the cons of 24-hour dungeon lockout? Somebody help me here. Did you delete all your characters? I thought PTR was today, Cat. PTR is not today? Maybe there's still a chance. PTR can still come out today. Bad content for stream? Okay, so there's more open world leveling. More open world levelers. Lots of competition. Competition for mobs. I don't think this is a con, though. Open world levelers isn't a con. So, heavy competition for quest mobs. More layers. I think that there's cons that we don't realize. Open world levelers is a pro. No. So, I feel like this isn't a black and white con. But I feel like even though we're going to be able to group up, you're going to be in Westfall, and there's going to be so many people around you, you literally can't find a boar. You're going to be trying to complete certain quests. Even if you group up in 5-man groups, there's certain like quest drops that you're not going to be able to pick up. Okay, so group up. Sure, you can group up, but only one person gets the Gortus meat. I think there's going to be so many people in the open world, it's going to be painful to do some quests, even though you can group. The kill quest, it doesn't matter.
What brings you here?
But I think that there's some unforeseen consequences of forcing everybody in the open world. It's similar to like how theme parks, they want you on rides and they want you standing in line all the time, so there's more room for people to fill into the park. Well, now that we can't stand in line and stand in dungeons all the time, there's going to be so many people in the park. You're either going to get more layers, or some of the quests are going to be kind of painful. I think it's going to be fun seeing the world alive the first 2, 3, 4 times. But damn, man, that 6th, 7th ult, whenever it's tough to complete your Gortus quest in Westfall, I don't know, it might grind on you for a second. Overall, there's not really many cons to this. Biggest con, disconnects for people leaving mid-dungeon. Oh yeah, so then you can't finish your dungeon lockout for the day, maybe. There's gonna be like 15 to 20 layers. There's gonna be a shitload of layers, dude. And how do you guys feel about layers? Are layers good or bad? I don't think that's a black and white question, but Are layers good or bad? Yeah, I would say necessary. Bro, if you've ever played, I swear, man, and all you fucking vanilla purists, all you private server enjoyers, layering is classic WoW. You can't have layering. Layering didn't exist in vanilla WoW. Dude, whenever you're on your 5th character, you've re-rolled for the 10th time, and there's literally 20 people around you. Sometimes it gets tough to play the game, but it is what it is. It'd be cool if you could get into a dungeon and just spam dungeons instead of being in an open world, but you can't spam dungeons now. So layer hopping will be bad for the Black Lotus farm. Who knows what they're going to do with layer hopping? It sounds like there's going to be a disgusting amount of layers. I think that they fixed the layer hopping in Psalm. You couldn't abuse layer hopping on Psalm like you did whenever Classic originally came out. Imagining the starting zones with no layers, it'd be stupid. Think about how fun it's going to be to watch see people try to race first snacks in the lowest gear possible. People are going to push limits with no content release timeline. It's a good thing. Yeah, I agree. I agree, AT. I think both would have been good. I think progressive servers would have allowed the server to breathe a little bit and to burn for a little while. I think this thing's going to be red hot for like 3 months and it might just fall off. I don't want to believe that, but I think it has the potential to burn red hot for 12 weeks and then we all go play vanilla fresh. AQ40 invasion would have killed hundreds of people though. Dude, the AQ40 gates wouldn't have been open for like a year. It would have been awesome. Dungeon level limits is mobs being at least green, otherwise you get trivial XP. Yeah. I don't know, man. The dungeon boosting thing, I think overall is good. I think if I could read the room and maybe speak for a lot of people, one of the #1 reasons why people like the 24-hour dungeon lockout isn't because they like the hardcore gameplay and you can only do one dungeon during your dungeon runs and it makes the gear unique. I really think you guys like it because of the reduction of bots. I really think the reduction of boosting and botting, it really helps out the average player. If you don't have 18 hours to play the game a day and you have some cringe lord boosting on 5 accounts, leveling 4 characters at a time, you know what I mean? It levels the playing field immensely. So I totally get that. And I think that's why the 24-hour dungeon lockout is really exciting. There's never been a server that was released this way. So not only are the servers being, the characters being reset, the accounts being reset, even a cringe sweatlord like myself who's going to play for 90 hours straight, hit level 60 in 4 days played, I die and I start over at the same area as you. Even if I have a 60, I can't boost, 4 counts with what I have. So it keeps us, on track with each other, which I think is really good for most players. The bots will get to 60 at some time and we'll just live in BRD strat. Who knows, man? But then the bots die and they got to do it all over again. Bots will have no problems taking over hardcore. Anyone thinking different hasn't followed classic till Wrath. Yeah, it'll just take longer. Who knows? It'll be fun to hear, though. Hardcore announcement, so disappointing, in my opinion. I think everybody likes some of the changes, and I think everybody dislikes some of the changes. Can I get a 59 to boost me, though? No, it's like Psalm. So, if the mob is gray to one of the characters in your group, you're going to get trivial XP. What you're going to see, maybe, is a level 32 Stockades twink. You're going to see people twink out a level 32 character. The thing is, they can't lock their XP, but they make level 32 twinks, and then they boost in Stockades, but you can only do the dungeon once a day. So, yeah, boosting's pretty much dead. Yeah, which is good. It's good. A bot taking longer to do something doesn't really affect anything, brother. It's not like the bot takes twice the amount of time to hit level 60. It takes the bot 10 times the amount of time to hit 60 successfully. And then when he's 60, he dies and he has to do it all again. And it takes him 10 times the normal time to get to 60 again. Like, dude, don't act like the bots are fucking some ordained higher power and they're just angels and they'll never be stopped. Brother, they're going to die all the time. I get that bots will still be there, but not like they are on multi-life servers. They don't care, right? But they can run 20 bots at the same time. It'll be significantly less problem than on real servers. Yeah, I think so. We'll see, though. We'll see. It sounds like softcore, not hardcore. Allowing trading and so on makes it so easy. And more dungeons equals more gear, so a lot easier ways till 60. I hear your concerns, man. I hear your concerns. If you have a level 60 following you around, but I mean, what's the definition of hardcore to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, everybody says, I think it's unfair to name the way that we've played hardcore forever. This is hardcore. This is how you gotta play it. Yeah, you can't call it softcore. It's just a version of the game. But I think there's a huge reason why it's been successful so far with the solo self-found rule set. No one's forcing you to trade. I don't like that argument either, though, because it does change the group dynamic. Whenever you do a group, everybody's twinked out in your group. Believe it or not, whenever you have a green flame burge of the monkey at level 8, and Joe Schmo has a green level 14 heavy spiked mace that he bought on his alt character, it hits different, man. I mean, yeah, you don't have to trade, but whenever everybody else around you is a god because they're trading with their max level characters, it does make, you know, you're that meme where you're just putting the clown suit on. So it takes away from your experience, 100%. Oh, just don't raid. Just find a raid that doesn't raid with world buffs. There's no raids that don't raid with world buffs because everybody raids with world buffs. Nobody does it, you know. I was worried Blizzard would do the bare minimum and just turn off res. This is awesome. You know what's funny? I think someone like me that was going to play all day every day would have preferred death equals delete. But I'm not kidding, bro. Yeah, I would have preferred, like, no rules, death equals delete, selfishly. Because I am kind of a competitive person, and we're going to do whatever it takes to gain an advantage, you know what I'm saying? But I think all these rules is overall a great thing for the server health, because people that are streamers like me that play 18 hours a day, it's literally 0.01% of the population. So hands-on experience is good for the overall health, and honestly it's good for me overall, hopefully keeping it relevant for longer. But yeah, I think most people are happy with all the changes. I'm surprised at how many changes they've added, man. Okay, we've taken a break on this dungeons on the clock thing. I'm gonna keep going. To buff or debuff, what do you guys think about this? The 16 debuff limit and 32 buff limits have been removed on Hardcore Realms. Debuff and buff limits were originally a technical limitation in the earliest version. This aspect of original release maintained in 2019 for authenticity, but it's always been a contentious part of WoW. So if they never done this before, on build, we'll be removing the limitation in Hardcore Realms and effectively uncapping buffs and debuffs. Did they not change this in Psalm? So we didn't see this in Season of Mastery? Everybody says it's a W. So we didn't see this in Season of Mastery, right? Druids can now heal, right? Druids are allowed to regrowth and rejuve and not worry about pushing off world buffs because there's a buff limit, right? So there was no debuff cap in... Yeah. Shadow Priest can press buttons. I think it's good that everybody can apply their debuffs, man. It was always weird. Even some of these feral druids wouldn't put their bleeds on because there just weren't enough debuff slots on the boss. So it was weird coming in as a DPS and being told by the raid lead, hey, you can't use your abilities. Hey, you can't bleed the mob. Hey, you can't Serpent Sting. Hey, you can't, you know, it's good. I don't care if the mob dies a little bit faster. Everybody gets to press their buttons. That's a good thing, man. Huge W. Huge W. I feel like it won't change the raid meta at all, but it's cool for casual play. Yeah, I agree. Does that change DPS tier list much? No, probably not at all. It doesn't change anything. It just makes it to where you don't have these cringe rules and have people yelling at you because you're using your class abilities. So, this is good. Bubble Hearth no more. I had some thoughts about this. I would have liked to have seen a Death Equals Delete server, no changes, but change Bubble Hearth. Because if you could Bubble Hearth, I really think that you would see every single paladin on the server join a dungeon strat undead. They get halfway through the dungeon, they sneak off to the side, they pull every mob on top of them, then they Bubble Hearth and they wipe the rest of their group. And they do that every hour. That was the most egregious case I could think about Bubble Hearth, and it seemed like it needed to go just because of how abusable it would be. I wouldn't group with paladins that I don't know. I would only group with Tommy Salami. No one's doing that. Everybody would do it. Santa, I would do it. I would level a paladin to 60 and I would group from, you know what I mean? But a rogue or hunter could do that. They can't, though. A rogue or hunter can vanish or feign death, but it can resist. Bubble Hearth, you literally can pull the world on top of you and you have 0 chance of dying. Paladins won't be able to use their Hearthstone. Wow, so that's how they're doing it. They can't use their Hearth while under the effects of Blessing of Protection, Divine Protection, or Divine Shield on hardcore realms. So I don't know how long Bop lasts. I've never seen somebody... I've never seen like a level 52 Paladin Warrior duo. They're 2-manning Uldaman. And they're like, alright, Billy, we gotta get out of here, brother. Take this Bop Hearth. They bubble themselves a Hearth. I mean, you lose that interaction. How long does Bop last? I think Bop is only 8 seconds, right? You've never been able to Bop Hearth? So will other players be able to Hearth under Blessing and Protection? Who really cares? Kind of a cool interaction. But, yeah, they're taking away Bubble Hearth. This is good. This is good. Being able to Bubble Hearth is fairly iconic, if not exactly heroic feature paladin of the class. However, the Reincarnation ability is also an iconic feature of the Shaman class. While paladins have enormous tools to prevent death, a shaman's core tool to recover from death is wholly incompatible with hardcore. As a result, we're removing the ability for paladins to use their various immunity abilities to safely cast Hearthstone and escape danger. That's hilarious that they used Shaman's Ankh. Shaman's not being able to Ankh means paladins can't use Bubble Hearth. I like the comparison. I don't think it's why they should have changed it, though. I think the griefing would have been insane. I never would have grouped up with a paladin I didn't know, and I don't think any of you guys would either. And a paladin would grief. They would pull all the mobs on top whenever you do an Uber's run. They'd Bubble Hearth out, they'd delete their character, rename their character, and do it again every 7 days. I think that's why they needed to change Bubble Hearth. But I think overall, how do you guys feel about Bubble Hearth? Is this a W or an L? I think this is a W. You do that with Petri? Oh, shit.
Go on the bear! Go on the bear! Go on the bear! Bear!
Yo!
Ski Hey just subscribed.
Wait. What did you just say? Yo, Ski, thank you, brother. I appreciate the tier 1. It's huge this next month. Wait. Can I just pull everything in Petri Flask? No one trolls like that and you can do it now? No one does it now because if you did it now, you literally wouldn't be able to play with anybody. Whenever we're on official servers, there's plenty of people to play with. There's like a couple thousand people at 60. Everybody knows your name. If you Petri Flask and wipe a group, everyone's gonna Petri Flask. Honestly, bro, you're not gonna be able to Petri Flask in PTR because it sounds like the max level's 30 anyways. I might even make it a statement to Petri Grief. I don't know if you guys want to volunteer, if you want to join my groups. I'm not joking, dude. I'm going to Petri Grief 10-man dungeons. I'm going to Petri Grief 5-man dungeons so that they fix Petri Flask. You can't? No, you 100% can. You 100% can. Perma account ban? It's bannable now? It's not bannable. They didn't say anything about banning. Bannable? There's no way they're going to ban for this. Whoa. They're going to have to ban everybody if this is bannable. Bottom of the article. Petri Grief is worth it if you wipe a raid. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Petri Grief is totally worth if you take down 30 others. Wait. Yeah, everybody's saying just keep reading. Yo,
HC hype, HC hype.
Yo, truly with the 69. Thank you, man. HC hype? They legit mention wiping raids is bannable? What? If you have a group pre-made to just prove it out and everyone's there to just die, no ban. So context matters. Wait. You guys said read it at the end. Okay, maybe we'll find it at the end. Hang on, can somebody find it real quick? I don't want to read anymore until I find that. Play nice, play fair. Here it is. Here it is, guys. We're going to skip ahead to the bottom, and then we'll move back up. Gameplay zone disruption and malicious player killing outside of consensual PvP will not be tolerated on hardcore realms. What? Gameplay zone disruption and malicious player killing of consensual PvP will not be tolerated. Oh my gosh. Fuck the griefers? Wait, does this mean that we can't grief bots? Yo, can we not grief bots? Will we get banned for griefing bots? Oh my gosh, bro. Does anybody feel like we're about to play Care Bear Extravaganza? I don't know why I'm getting Care Bear vibes right now. It's okay, dude. I'm gonna play it no matter what. I'm surprised that they're taking this stance, though. Because whenever you ban one person, you have to ban them all. And I don't think Blizzard has the capability to ban everybody. They should fix the methods of griefing rather than going on a case-to-case basis and banning everybody. I think this is really bad. After griefers, the point is, bro, they can't moderate this. It's going to be super unfair. It's not going to be moderated well. This is wild, dude. I can't believe that they said this. I thought they would just leave it as a gray area and not talk about it. In that interview, they didn't really talk about it. War is toxic. It's World of Hudcraft now. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's in the title. It's World of Warcraft, dude. By this, we mean deliberate action to hamper or significantly impede the ability of other players to enjoy the game, such as, but not limited to, repeatedly killing quest NPCs or kiting important quest mobs far away from their spawn location to prevent them from being killed. That's like whenever, who did this? I heard about a guild kiting devil swords into Shimmering Flats. And they were just holding the devil swords. So like everybody else on the server couldn't kill devil swords. Yeah, was that Aves? That was pretty funny. So you're not going to be able to do that. I mean, whatever. Who cares? Again, it just feels kind of weird, man.
Bubble Hearth
Right?
equals Petri Flask. Either both are okay, or they're not okay. By the way, Paladin best class.
I'm surprised they didn't say... I'm surprised they didn't do anything to Petri Flask. They said no Bubble Hearth, and they're saying that you can't maliciously grief players, but they still give you the ability to maliciously grief players with Petri Flask. And, dude, Petri Flask is fucking cringe at level 60, man. I don't want to play World of Petri Flask, bro. I don't want to be level 60, and whenever we're supposed to wipe, we all Petri Flask and keep our characters. Like, I'm not playing hardcore anymore. I mean, I get that it's in the game, right? It's an in-game mechanic. Oh, well, then, Grace, just don't use it. You can't not just use it. Of course I'm going to use it. But if I make a mistake in a raid, and I pull 3 packs of Molten Giants, we should all go down. Then you're not playing hardcore anymore. You make a mistake and you don't die. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. That's not true. Bubble Hearth has 0 cost. Petri's really big expense. It's not, though, bro. Petri Flask is fucking dirt cheap. Spend a weekend fishing for stone scale eels, make 6 Petri Flasks, and you're good for the next 2 months, brother. And the one time you mess up in 2 months... You're not dead. You think everybody's gonna spam Petri Flask? Nobody spams Petri Flask. You have 3 Petri Flasks on you at all times, and you don't use them for weeks at a time. But the one time you should have died, oh, let me pop my Petri Flask. Oh, no, let me go farm for 3 or 4 hours. Let me go get my 2 or 3 Petri Flasks and never die again. I don't know, man. It's cringe. Petri Flask is cringe. I can't believe they didn't make it unique, man. I think that would be the easiest band-aid fix. I also can't believe that they didn't change. Oh, I can't believe it. But the instance... How cringe is it, bro? Oh, we overpulled. Everybody leave group. Everybody leave group. Everybody kite. Leave group. Kick everybody from the group. We pulled an extra pack in BRD. We pulled the last boss. Everybody kite. Get teleported out. I don't know, man. It's cringe. It's cringe, man. I don't want to play it. It's super lame to watch. And I don't want to play it either. Oh, then Graves, don't play it. You have to play it. And that's why no Petri ban. How does Petri ban affect RMT? I don't know. Golly, I really don't like Petri Flask. Petri Flask isn't the problem. I hate teleporting out of the instance in 60 seconds. Can they just make it to where you can't teleport out of the instance if you're stuck in combat? I don't care if you have Joe Schmo in your group who gets, you know, you kick him out of the group and he gets pissed off and so he pulls all the mobs on top of you and tries to grief you and he doesn't get teleported out because he stays in combat. Who cares, bro? Who cares? Everybody zone out, get a new dungeon ID, just rip it. Don't allow people to teleport out of a dungeon if they're stuck in combat. It's so cringe, man. So cringe. You think Hearthstoning in general should not be allowed? No, Hearthstoning's fine. Hearthstoning's great. Well, what's the other way around? Do I have this backwards? What are you talking about? Who cares if he pulls all the mobs just Petri? Yeah, true. Oh, like not hearthing in dungeons? I also, you know what would have been cool? Is if whenever you zone into a dungeon, these guardrails, these gates come down. Right? Whenever you enter the instance, yeah. The gate comes down, and the gate doesn't open up until you kill all the bosses in the dungeon or something. So you can't run out of the dungeon. You still could hearth. Some of these ideas are cool, but it's really susceptible to like griefing and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of cool ideas you can do. Take away Petri and let them have 60 seconds with a massive raid boss trash pack chasing all the players. Oh, like just take away Petri Flask, but you can still run around for 60 seconds, and if you survive, you get zoned out. That wouldn't be terrible, yeah. Can't leave a raid instance while in combat. Fixed. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to get ported out if you're in combat. Anyways, let's keep reading about how they're going to prevent griefing. Man, this blows my mind. Most importantly, this also includes taking actions to deliberately cause the death of another player, such as, but not limited to, kiting high-level mobs or elite mobs onto other near players with the intent that they take damage and die. Or deliberately causing a wipe in a raid or dungeon group. No way, bro. Billy, who got outrolled on a lavishly jeweled ring by a rogue in Deadmines. Do you guys remember this guy? What was his name? Is Winky here? This is some old school hardcore lore. There was a level 18 paladin who needed on lavishly jeweled ring in Deadmines, and a rogue needed on it. Wilbo. It's fucking Wilbo. A rogue needed on it, won the lavishly jeweled ring, and Wilbo the paladin was so upset he went on a keyboard typing tirade for the next 5 minutes, and then he runs forward, tries to pull all the mobs on top of his group. He ends up dying. The rest of the group runs out. And he's the only one that ended up dying. But man, you're gonna ban Wilbo in a level 18 Deadmines dungeon for griefing his group? Again, dude, I like my head on a swivel. I like being scared at all the times. I mean, there's no appeal system if you do successfully grief people, but you will technically get banned. So I mean, the damage is done. You killed a raid. It's worth the ban. But I don't know, man. Trust no one. That's what I'm saying. I want more trust no ones. This feels like just feels like I have like DC protection on me. This feels like appeal craft. I don't know. Blizz won't moderate this. I think Rideout's onto something, though. I don't think Blizz is going to moderate this very well. But you know what? That's why they shouldn't moderate it in the first place, because the only people that's going to get moderated for this are streamers, or even people that record their gameplay. If you don't record your gameplay, you're not going to have grief protection. The only people that are going to get others banned are streamers, like myself. And I think technically it's unfair. I don't think it needs to be there in the first place. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is not a PvP realm, and the normal PvP realm rules do not apply in this way. Outside of a normal duel to the death, consensual PvP flagging, or war games, killing other players isn't the core goal of hardcore gameplay. Oh, I know it's not the core goal, but it's the content, brother. It's the sandbox. It's part of one life, man. It doesn't matter about having a reputation anymore. Like, I want there to be villains on the server. I want there to be some dumbass that successfully killed his group in Deadmines, and now everybody's in world chat talking about, don't group with him, don't group with the, you know. Now you can't do that. If players are found to make it their goal to take part in this kind of disruptive style of play, we reserve the right to take immediate and decisive action against anyone found to be deliberately causing this disruption to other players on these realms, including permanent account closure. Damn. Yo, here come all the here come all the classic plus Andes. Here come all the Rivals and Rainies. Oh, Blizzard. Imagine not banning for botting, banning for RMT. But you're gonna ban people for actively taking part in real game mechanics inside of your video game? That's wild, though. I can't believe that they didn't permaban gold buyers and gold sellers, which they should have. Let's be honest, we know why they don't. But they're gonna permaban griefers? That's crazy. That's crazy. Why not ban both? Yeah. That's crazy. Oh. Welcome. On the flip side to this, report bombing or intentionally using the rule set against players to attempt to get their account actioned will also be met equally with harsh penalties. Dude, it's about time. How many times do you see certain, you know, maybe your favorite streamer? Like, I was watching Peo a couple months ago. And he was spamming something in Dalaran for his GDKP. And there was a guild that reported him, and he actually got his account banned. And there's never been repercussions, to my knowledge at least, to people getting equally harsh penalties. This can and will happen in normal gameplay, and retaliation or resorting to bullying, abuse, or malicious reporting for normal gameplay deaths are not appropriate. For example, if you're in a dungeon group and the tank ends up taking too much damage and dies despite the efforts of the healer in the group, it's not appropriate for someone to report the healer. Sure. While it is unfortunate, it's legitimate gameplay, and the best thing to do is remain understanding and empathetic. Learn what lessons you can from a situation and try again. Yeah. I'm not worried about... I'm not worried about reporting fucking Bobby, because... Bobby the 24 Dwarf Priest. Because he was just spam casting renews on me and let the DPS die. I'm not worried about that interaction. I think what I'm worried about is... people in a level 60 raid, you have like 100 player reports from either one person or like a guild reporting the main tank and wiping the raid because all of a sudden the main tank gets DC'd from the server because of automated reports. Is that what they're saying they're going to fix? It doesn't sound like they're going to fix it. It seems like report bombing's still going to work, but it'll be a bannable offense. But it's still worth it, right? They should take this shit away, dude. They should take away the automated reporting, I swear. The automated reports don't work on the bots anyways, or at least that's what people think. It doesn't seem like they do. Ultimately, see, it's critical to the health of these realms that players play nice and play fair with one another, and will take any hostile or abusive actions that occur between players very seriously. This is crazy, man. Upon character creation, you'll be prompted to agree to both the hazards of the hardcore realms and that death is permanent and irrevocable, as well as the rules and behavior between players. Wow. You go put your John Hancock on the dotted line, man. As with any new development, we'll be keeping a close eye on player behavior during the test phase and adjust as needed. We want WoW Classic Hardcore to be a fun and challenging experience for anyone who wants to jump into the action. That's crazy, man. Here's the only thing that I don't like about all this. Is now Blizzard's taking the stance and they have to moderate it. And if they moderate it, it's not going to be moderated fairly. That's why I don't think you should moderate it at all. It's not going to be moderated fairly, and the streamers will get their appeal systems, which is good. I mean, nobody's going to harass and grief me because I'm a streamer. I don't know if you guys have heard me the last couple months. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the world feeling dangerous, mobs being kited on top of me, having my head on a swivel at all times, having an extra element, outside forces. I don't want to just kill whelps in Red Ridge, you know, for the 10th time on my character. I want some spice. I want some player interaction, you know what I mean? And this just sounds like you versus the world, which is fine, man. There's nothing wrong with that, but feels like it's taking some of the sandbox away
What
from the game.
brings you here?
Do you have what it takes to go to hardcore? You'll be able to check out Classic Hardcore on the PTR. That's exciting, man. Exciting. I skipped this part, so this is probably the spiciest part, and I need your guys' help with this. I guess it's a good thing to have a second PC hooked up for recording. Here's the thing. You can record your death. You're still going to die, and you might get the guy banned. You probably won't. It's a waste of time anyways. It's literally only streamer protection, which is pretty easy to moderate. Hopefully they scare people from doing it at all, but if one person wipes the group intentionally and they get reported by 4 other people and Blizz sees the group for doing suspicious stuff, it's easy fix, yeah. Can't wait for the fringe cases that cause drama. This is what I'm saying. You're going to have community uproars. Ban him, ban him, ban him. You're going to have the entire community pick up their pitchforks and all the streamers react to a certain death clip, and you're going to get Joe Schmo banned because it looked like he griefed the group. You know what I mean? And every once in a while, Blizzard's going to ban an innocent Andy. Every once in a while, you're going to ban a boomer on accident. You know what I mean? He didn't grief him on purpose. He accidentally pulled all the raid trash. Community uproar. Keyword community. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Blizz won't be able to determine bad play from intentionally causing a wipe. That's what I'm saying. Alex got a mass report. People are going to max report, I guess. Mass report. Bot farm report bombing is going to be funny. That's what I'm saying. But what if... I don't know. Select a hardcore Supreme Court. How good would the stream content be if there was one guy that got hired at Blizzard and he went live every day, and for 8 hours a day he just watched death clips and appeals, and he banned certain people? There's no appeals bringing people back to life, but he did a live stream, and yeah, this was a grief, he's banned. Oh, this wasn't a grief, he doesn't get banned. Woo, that'd be crazy. Maybe we should do that. Banning people that did nothing wrong, but people just trying to get them banned out of Salt, that's a bad look, to be honest, yeah. Full-time WoW judge, yeah. It'd be a good stream. Alright, here we go. A duel to the death. A new feature's been added to Hardcore Realms. Duel to death, aka Makara. To issue the duel to death. Oh, that's funny that they went away from the Makara name. You'll need to right-click the target's portrait and request a duel to the death from the context menu. A duel to the death can also be triggered by selecting the target and typing /Makara. Oh, it's still in the game. Nice. I like this. I don't know why. I like /Makara. I guess you can't type /duel to the death. Before commencing combat, both parties must read and acknowledge a warning message and type "I agree" to begin. Whoa, that's dope. That's dope. It's like, you know, doing the whole blood initiation thing. You got your knife, I got my knife. Good luck. As one may expect, death in a duel is permanent, just like any death on Hardcore Realms. We feel that this is going to be an extremely exciting addition to Hardcore Realms for those who like to play at the highest possible stakes and those who wish to spectate such contests of honor. This is really good. Out of every change that I've seen so far is taking away from the sandbox. It's restricting people's gameplay. It's restricting the fun. It's restricting the RNG that's on the server. You can't kite mobs on top of certain people. Every once in a while, you know, you see a random Terramis kited through L1. Like, you're restricting everybody's gameplay. This is the first change that is not restricting people's gameplay. So I'd like to see more of this. I'd like to have seen a little bit less changes. But overall, I like things that are added into the game that allow the player base to have fun with it. So this is a really good change. Or a really good addition. Since bragging rights are important, we'll be tracking the number of kills you receive in duels to the death with a special cosmetic buff on your character called String of Ears. Each time you win a duel to the death, you'll receive a trophy, and the stat count on this buff will increase by 1. No way! Anyone who clicks on your character will be able to see what a frightful combatant you are by the number of ears you've collected. There's some limitations to this, however, as you cannot earn the String of Ears buff before level 10, and you can't earn the buff if your opponent are too many levels apart. Ooh, okay. So we're gonna do a leveling competition. We're gonna do race to Ragefire Chasm. Everybody that survives, walk out of RFC. You need to duel my main, and we're gonna farm 100 Makara wins. And then I'm gonna level to 60 and walk around with 100 years on my... yeah, that's kind of cool. Is this gonna be a buff that stays on you at all times? It's kind of weird. Like, you're always going to have a String of Ears buff on you. It'd be cool if you could toggle this on or off. There's some limitations to this. Right. You can't do this before level 10. This is cool. 7 trophies gathered as victories while dueling to the death. Priest casually dispels your buff, yeah. It can be gamed. Yeah, it will be gamed. It's... who really cares? It'd be cool if this was a currency, then it'd be even more reason to game the system. But it's kind of like cheating in hardcore. If you're going to game the string of ears and you want to be a cringe lord and buy a bunch of level 10 Makara deaths to have 100 string of ears, then level to 60 and be like, oh yeah, guys, I'm a high duelist, you know what I mean? Then you're just cheating yourself. It's like cheating in hardcore. Oh yeah, I changed the string in my hardcore add-on even though I've died 6 times. I'm still hardcore verified. Thank God, dude. PTR tomorrow. Oh, bro. Oh, that's so sick. Oh, no more appeals. Death equals delete. Death truly equals delete this time. Or death equals transfer, sorry. I don't know if I'm ready for this one. All content phases available from the go. Yikes. Guys, is this a W or is this an L? Or is this a right in between?
Well met.
I'm seeing a lot of L's. Neutral, lots of L's. Nax Trash Farm. In between, we'll see how it goes. Big Sexy, I'll show you how this goes, man. I'm gonna game the hell out of this. I'm gonna game the system no matter what. But all the content phases being available from day one, it's gonna be really hard for me to not be encouraged to buy 5 accounts, level 5 mages, and Nax Trash Farm with my 5 mages. I know it sounds cringe, but if Nax Trash is available in the game, I might just get that sweaty. No AQ opening, no black AQ bugs, no quest-specific reward events. Like all the AQ pre-quests, all those rewards, I guess, aren't in the game, or maybe they are.
Well met.
Server identity's not in the game. Who's gonna get the Scarab Lord on Season 1 hardcore servers? Well, guess what? It doesn't exist. Misplaced server worm week 1. Which one is that? Is this from the AQ quest chain or something? What is it? Who's never played a server from start to finish? Do you have to run early raids to progress, or can you skip in game for the most part? I think what people are worried about. Wow, dude. So the meta is gonna be just go straight to ZG, or the meta is gonna be level a mage, and then just ZG croc farm for the rest of your life, dude. If ZG's in the game on day 1, dude, the economy's about to erupt. Everybody needs ZG rep. And then whenever you die on your 60 and you level another 60, guess who needs ZG rep again? Your new alt. Bro. Oh my gosh. You're gonna die doing that? Meta's dire maul to ZG. What about AQ turn-ins? I don't know. Bloodvine's easy form? Yeah. What if they remove save spots? There's no save spots with the Crocolus farm, is there? I don't think there is. We still have to open AQ gates. No, I don't think so. Same for Nax rep. You still have to get the Nax rep, but... Oh, do we have to open? All content phases available from the go. Ooh, did they talk about this in any of the interviews? Do you guys know if we have to do the AQ gate opening quests? Maybe the gate opening quests are available from day 1? Maybe Scarab Lord is up for grabs day 1? Ooh, yikes, dude. That'll be the easiest Scarab Lord. They did? What did they say? Scotty J's interview did. Race the Scarab Lord. I'm about to race the Scarab Lord. No joke. Cannot farm Crocs, I believe. There's some anti-boost mechanics. Oh, you're right. Hold up. Before I finish this, where are the anti-boosting mechanics? Additionally, we've carried over the group experience restrictions, meaning the players are significantly higher level. Higher level characters power leveling are not something that feels appropriate for classic WoW. Listen, man. I'ma just say it. I really didn't like the mobs that were immune to stun after 30 seconds, after 60 seconds of being kiting. I don't like it, bro. You should let the dumbass mage farm 50, 60 dungeons, and then he's going to end up dying anyways. please don't speed up the mobs or give all the mobs nets or give the mobs thrash abilities whenever they're engaged in combat for more than 2 minutes. I don't know. They won't implement the slow anti-boosting stuff, only the XP thing. I like that, man. I like that. I hated the fact that they changed it to where mobs would speed up and run. I just didn't like it. I don't know. But I didn't like the boosting. I think taking away the boosting is good. But I think that it's okay to incentivize mages to one pull because I think they're going to get snubbed at some point. The anti-slow stuff is terrible. Yeah, I don't think it's a great change. Means more mistakes made due to rushing. Yeah, Sam Stripe. It's not so black and white. Okay, let's read the end of this. Hardcore realms will have all the original WoW content phases unlocked and available. We'll see if that means we do the AQ quest from day one or if the gates are just open. One of the things we love about hardcore mode of play is that in-game is not the focus. Is this how they're... And most of the gameplay revolves around the journey, not the destination. This also makes hardcore gameplay evergreen, meaning that it's always a good time to pop in and experience it. True, regardless of what else is happening in other versions of WoW. When considering whether to do progressive phase unlocks on these hardcore realms or not, one of the things that concerned the WoW Classic team was what psychological impact that following the 2019 Classic or Psalm or progressive content unlocks might have on players. We see players often ask, is it too late to start playing? Shortly after a new version of WoW Classic or content phase is released, while the answer is always no, there's still undeniable social pressure to keep up with the current content phase, even if the content being released is beyond your level progression. So just make all the progression out of your reach from day one for all the dad gamers with 9 wives, 8 kids, 4 jobs. They just fall behind no matter what, even if the content's out. I think it's interesting. I guess it's okay to make the hardcore server the guinea pig for releasing all the content on day one. Dude, I'm glad that they're doing this at some point. I don't know if it's good for the hardcore server, but I'm glad Blizzard's releasing a server with all the content available. It's kind of weird that they're doing it on the One Life server and you don't really get an honest look at what the meta is going to look like. But I'm glad we're seeing this for once in the history of WoW. I don't know how I feel about it completely. I don't know. ZG should be delayed, everything else is okay. By removing content unlocks from the equation and having everything open and available from the start, it removes that pressure from the average player to hurry up and hit max level for the next unlock, especially when most content phase unlocks revolve entirely around in-game content. We're highly sensitive to this in a world where leveling itself is a huge challenge and players may want to enjoy that journey at their own pace. It sounds like a cop-out, man. I don't really like the reasoning behind they want everyone to feel like the weight's been lifted. If anything, the content phases made it more accessible. If anything, Nax still not being in the game made it to where there was still a reason to join. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do think the fact that it's a hardcore server and people die and reset, this is why they need to ban Petriflask or ban teleport out of instances. The fact that guilds and raids and characters are going to be reset, accounts are going to be lost by making mistakes in in-game, it will reset the server. So that way, it's more new player friendly. The server's not so progressed. But maybe everybody just dies because of DCs and raids. On the other side of this, we also feel the most dedicated players who want to test themselves in this environment, it could be very exciting to watch how efficiently a group of players can reach level 60, progress through raid dungeons such as Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, AQ, and Nax, while starting from nothing within the closed ecosystem that is a new server. As anyone who's done a raid in hardcore can tell you, just because you can access something like AQ or Nax doesn't mean you should, and doing so unprepared is likely to end in disaster. I like this. This is good. This is server identity. This is drama. This is heroes and zeros. This is risk reward. You hear about another guild or a server, you see screenshots, you see other streams of a guild walking into Nax. You know, are we just going to watch them and try and get the first Nax kill? Or are we going to hold back and hope they wipe or something? Or as a group, do we want to do our first AQ clear? Do we feel like we have enough gear, you know, as a guild? Or Who knows? I like the option to jump into higher end content right away. Again, I think this is burned super fast. The thing is, I think I'd rather see the server burn red hot super fast and then die, because guess what? This shit's gonna die like every WoW server dies. Dude, even the 2019 server coming out, everybody was burned out before BWL even got there. By the time BWL was here, I mean, everybody, or by the time the honor system got here, it was fun. By the time AQ got here, everybody was taking breaks. Then Nax got here, they stopped and came back again. Like, the point is, the server's gonna die. It's gonna slow down. People are gonna stop playing. And then guess what? They're gonna come back a month or two later anyways. So regardless if BWL's in on month 3 or 4, or it's in from day 1, you're still gonna quit on month 2 or month 3 and then come back on month 4. You know what I mean? Regardless of all the content's in or not. So I think it's I feel like casual players like myself, people that aren't 99 parsing sweaty min-max or coefficient like RP Andes, I think we like this change. I think this change doesn't bother us. I think people that really do care about server identity and titles and rank, first wave of rank 14s and Scarab Lords on the server, probably the more based WoW gameplay enjoyers, I don't think they like all the content being released at once. But regardless, we're going to play the server. We're going to play the game no matter what. Seen a bunch of guilds racing for each raid release is always hype AF. Is anyone going to care when they hear so-and-so is going to clear BWL tomorrow? Outside of like the first kill, I don't think anyone's going to care, but I think it's going to be exciting. I don't think you're going to see live raids attempt and wipe on content as much as you're going to see the VODs. You're going to hear about raids wiping and content that maybe they shouldn't have attempted. Anyways, man, that's the rules. We're going to go watch some more interviews. That was my take on this. Overall, how do I feel after reading the rules? I think I'm still a lukewarm 7 out of 10. We're going to have fun with the server no matter what, man. I'm pumped that it's here. I'm pumped that it's here. We're going to make the best of the situation like we always do.